Hello, I'm Seth Johnson with Land a House. So in today's tiny house video, I have an exciting project that I've been looking forward to for a while. We're going to be installing the loft ladder. Now I've given this a bit of thought and I've not seen this design before, so I'm hoping that it's going to work all right. The thought is I'm going to put a board here to support some metal piping. Then the ladder will be able to store into this space here, come down and swivel over here so you can get up. That way there's not always a ladder sitting here in the floor. And that way I can still use this wall for storage and maybe have a couch down here. Just keep the ladder out of the way. So let's get started. So I want to use this 2x6 here as the back plate for the metal pipes. So I'm going to take a tape measure here and see what we need. The pipe I'm using is 4 foot long. So I've got 52 inches to this board, but because the pipe fittings might extend a little bit more, I'm going to go up to like, I guess, 58 inches. That ought to give us plenty of room to work with. Well, that battery's about gone. So now I'm going to place this up here like this. And I guess I'll take the level here and see how we're doing. Alright, looks like right there is the place for us. So now I'm going to say that we've got studs here, 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 and an angle down here. So I'm going to take this drill and pre-drill some holes for nails in here. So I just said nails, but I probably mean screws. So I don't have tons of 3-inch screws left. So I guess I'm just going to kind of combine nails and screws. I want to make sure this thing is level. All right. Now I'll get this thing set up here. Okay, put some screws and nails in there. So I got that board secured on there. Now I want to see what we have to work with in here. Looks like 14 3/4 is the total in here. So the ladder has to fit inside of this little well here. So because a 2x4 is 1.5 inches thick, so it's 3 inches for the side of the ladder. So that leaves us with basically 11 inches for the steps, which is not very big, but it's a tiny house, so that's what we're going to go with. So basically I'm going to come down here and every 11 inches I'm going to cut this board to make steps. Make sure here. So I'm just going to go down this board and cut as many 11-inch pieces as I can. So I'm going to use a tape measure and go along here and mark every 12 inches, and that's where a step is going to be placed. I'm going to put just a mark at that spot. So let's see here. I think I'm going to come down to about, I guess the first step's going to be here, 7 inches. So from 7 inches on is where each step is going to be. So I want one here. So I just used my speed square and drew lines across each board, and then pre-drilled a hole so that I can stick nails in the middle. The reasoning for this is that I'm going to put the step between these nails and then put the ladder where it's supposed to be and adjust the angle. Then I'm going to put more nails and even some L brackets in here to make sure this thing stays where it should. So, keep at it. So I've got the ladder up on one side here, and I'm just putting my blocks underneath. And then I'm matching up my lines. And then just hammering that nail down. So now I'm going to take this whole thing and flip it over and then get the top part on here. Hopefully this will line up well enough that I can spin these pieces. Starting to take shape a little bit. Alright, I'm just going to hammer this side in. Okay, so I got the nails into this thing. It's not too heavy. Just want to see what it looks like here. It'll definitely come apart if I push it too hard. Yeah. Nice. So it'll swing on that bar to about this point here. And I'm going to cut the legs down so it'll fit better. But what I was saying is you can spin the steps here on that nail to match the angle you need. And then you can use a level to level these out. And then you put in the rest of your nails or screws. It's pretty awesome. Now, in order to get the bottom of this ladder flat with the ground, I'm taking a board, putting it along the bottom here, and just marking a line. And then I'm going to take the saw and cut at that spot, and that should give us the flat surface we're looking for. Now, in order for the ladder to slide on the bar, which the bar is going to be 1/2 inch pipe, I've got a 3/4 flange here that fits over the 1/2 inch pipe well. So I'm going to take up here and I'm going to center this onto the ladder, and I'm going to drill the hole in here so that this pipe can fit through and have this metal piece as a strength so it won't break the wood, hopefully. So I guess we'll put it pretty close to the top here. Wow, nice rainstorm today. I'm glad I'm inside. So let's do some marking here. Holes for the hardware. And then the inside there. So I've got a wood bit here. Just going to put it in the middle. Well, I went ahead and got the metal bar through these flange up here. Let's see if you can see that. So I just used bolts and nuts and washers here through the wood, and this black coating on this is a little bit tight, so it's starting to come off there, but we'll see. I may have to adjust some of the holes here in a bit, but looks like it's doing pretty good. So next we're going to attach the elbows and flanges onto the wood here. So I've got these 3-inch pipes and a flange here, floor flange. I'm just going to attach these. Make sure they're nice and tight. Okay. Then I got these 90-degree elbows here. I'm going to attach those. I'll use some pipe wrenches here in a bit to make sure these are snug. So I've got 2 of those. So I went ahead and screwed this thing in. It's very secure. Now I should have used a larger wood bit inside of here, because now it's really tight, which it does slide, but it's a little tighter than I would have liked. So now it's time to use this guy, torpedo level, and start getting all the steps to the correct level and spot. So let's do that now. Well, it's been a while since I worked on the tiny house. Right before I started this ladder, I hurt my back at the gym. So been a while. You can see outside is quite green now, but I'm back here with the ladder. Yeah. So what I've done is I've got 3 nails in each step, and for some of them I've put these L brackets under here. Seems to be pretty good. I've walked on it a few times. So what we have next is to get this whole ladder able to store up here. So I've cut this piece here, and what it's going to do is fit up in here, and that way it gives me enough space to attach this latch here. So that latch will basically be around here, and that way it can open and close and keep the ladder up here. I'm going to get this into position here, and then just put a couple of screws in. There's one. I'm going to put a few of these so that it doesn't have any chance of falling down. That would be bad. I may do one just in here just for the fun of it. Now I'm going to take the latch and put it here just off center. Okay, and I'm going to do, I guess, this one and this one. Now I'm going to take the drill here and just put holes in. That's close. I don't know if I can get to that one. Perhaps something I could have thought through a bit better. So these carriage bolts have squares on them to keep it from moving around. Let's see what we got over here. Well, I may just take a bit and just kind of whittle that out enough to get this bolt in there, or nut. So I just got a 9/16 here just to try and clean this out a little bit, enough to get that hardware on there. Not the way I'd like to do things, but I think it'll work. All right, let's see how well this does. So I'm gonna flip it up here. Nice. That's pretty cool right there. So just stores up there. I like that. It's a pretty cool ladder. Now, let me pop it down here. One thing I was noting is that whenever the holes were drilled to make this thing up here, I should have put bigger holes in the wood than what I did. So, because now when you slide it, you have to grab down here, and up here to slide it. Now I can probably sand off some of this black coating on this pipe and make it easier to slide. I mean, it's not bad. So I expect the majority of the time this ladder will stay in this position, so you can get up and down like this. I'll probably be putting some handles on the wall here, and maybe even one on the ceiling to help get up. But yeah, so far it's really nice. I don't hear any creaking. I'm only 200 pounds, but I'll probably continue to put a few more of those L brackets in here just to make sure it doesn't have any problems. But as tiny ladders go, I like that a lot. Well, that was a fun project. Really enjoyed it. Nice to have a more permanent way of getting up the into the loft than that old ladder I had. Well, please write below what you think about this tiny ladder. Is it safe? Is it going to last? That kind of stuff. And thumbs up if you liked it. I'm Seth Johnson with Land House, and I will see you next time. Bye. So the carbide tip on here works pretty good on the hardy board, but it's not too effective on wood.